On the night of April 25th, the safety test was scheduled. Ironically, this test was meant to determine if the reactor could handle a power outage. It was a test of safety that caused the ultimate danger. But things went wrong from the start. Due to power demands from the grid in Kiev, the test was delayed by 10 hours. This meant the day shift, the experienced crew who had prepared for the test, went home. The night shift arrived. These men were tired, and they were less experienced with the complex procedure they were about to perform. Shortly after midnight, a mistake was made. While preparing for the test, the operators accidentally allowed the power to drop too low, near zero. The reactor was effectively stalling. In a car, you would just restart the engine. But in a nuclear reactor, this low power created a buildup of unstable gases, specifically xenon, that poisoned the core. This made it incredibly difficult to get the power back up. To fight this, the lead engineer, Anatoly Dyatlov, ordered the operators to pull almost all the control rods out. They were removing the brakes on a car that was barely moving, trying to force it to speed up. They didn't know it yet, but they had turned the reactor into a grenade, and they had just pulled the pin. At 1:23 a.m., the test began. The turbines were disconnected. The water pumps slowed down. Without enough water to cool it, the reactor core began to overheat instantly. The power didn't just rise, it surged. The operators watched the gauges in horror and realized something was wrong. They screamed to press the emergency button, known as AZ5. This button was the ultimate failsafe. It was supposed to drop all the control rods back into the core and kill the reaction immediately. But this is where the fatal design flaw kicked in. The control rods were made of boron, which slows the reaction, but the very tips of the rods were made of graphite. Graphite actually increases reactivity. So for the first few seconds as the rods entered the core, they didn't stop the reaction, they supercharged it. At 1:23 and 40 seconds, the power spiked to 10 times the reactor's limit. The pressure became so immense that it blew the 1,000-ton concrete lid off the reactor, like a coin flipping in the air. Oxygen rushed in, mixed with hydrogen, and boom. A second massive explosion tore the building apart, spewing radioactive graphite and fuel high into the night sky. The core was now open, burning at temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Firefighters arrived within minutes. They were told it was a simple roof fire. They didn't wear special suits. They didn't have protection. They saw chunks of black, burning graphite on the ground and kicked them out of the way. Some even picked them up. They didn't know they were holding death in their hands. The radiation was so intense that the air itself glowed with a terrifying blue light. Many of those first responders reported a metallic taste in their mouths, the taste of radiation. Most of them would die of acute radiation sickness within weeks. For the first 36 hours, the Soviet Union tried to hide the truth. They cut phone lines in Pripyat to stop people from calling out. They told the world nothing. The residents of the city went about their Sunday. There were wedding parties, children playing in the sandboxes, and people fishing in the river, all while the reactor burned just 3 kilometers away, raining invisible poison down on them. The secret didn't last. In Sweden, over 1,000 kilometers away, alarms went off at a nuclear plant. Workers there thought their own plant was leaking, but when they checked the wind, they realized the radiation was blowing from the Soviet Union. The world demanded answers, and the Kremlin was forced to admit that an accident had occurred. Finally, 36 hours after the blast, evacuation began. A line of over 1,000 buses arrived. Residents were told it was temporary, just for 3 days. They were told to bring their documents and a little food. They left their pets, their family photos, and their entire lives behind. They never returned. Pripyat became a city of ghosts overnight. But the fire was still burning. The debris on the roof had to be cleared to build a containment structure, but it was too radioactive for machines. The Soviets tried using German and Japanese robots to clear the rubble, but the radiation was so intense that their electronic brains fried instantly. They would drive a few meters and die. So the Soviet Union turned to the only resource they had left: men. They called them the bio-robots. These were young soldiers, dressed in handmade lead suits that weighed up to 30 kilograms. Their mission was terrifyingly simple. They had to run out onto the roof, shovel a pile of radioactive graphite back into the core, and run back inside. They had exactly 90 seconds. Any longer, and their nervous systems would begin to collapse. Thousands of men took turns doing this, running into the jaws of death for 90 seconds at a time to save the world. Over 600,000 people, known as the Liquidators, were drafted to clean up the zone. They bulldozed entire villages, shot contaminated animals to stop the spread, and cut down the famous red forest, where the trees had turned the color of rust from the radiation. Their final masterpiece was the sarcophagus, a massive concrete and steel shell built over the ruined reactor to lock the radiation inside. They succeeded. They saved Europe from becoming a wasteland. But the cost was high. Thousands of liquidators suffered from cancer, heart issues, and other health problems for the rest of their lives. The official Soviet death toll remained incredibly low, but the true human cost is estimated to be in the thousands. Today, if you visit the exclusion zone, you will see nature taking back what was lost. Wolves hunt in the empty city squares, trees grow through the floors of school classrooms. A new massive steel arch now covers the old reactor, designed to last 100 years. But beneath it, deep in the dark basement of the reactor, sits the elephant's foot. It is a solidified mass of melted nuclear fuel, sand, and concrete. Even today, it remains one of the most toxic objects on Earth. If you stood next to it for 5 minutes, you would die. It will remain dangerous for tens of thousands of years. Chernobyl stands as a silent warning to us all. It is a monument to what happens when we prioritize shortcuts over safety and lies over truth. But it is also a testament to the incredible bravery of ordinary people, the firefighters, the engineers, and the liquidators who walked into the fire not for glory, but because it had to be done. They gave their lives to protect a world that was kept in the dark. If you found this story fascinating, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history. Thank you for watching.